That's why we've built this network. That's why we've brought every one of you here today and to build this ecosystem, to build this community. So how's it working so far? As of last quarter, Fund 2 is currently performing at 95% of venture funds of its vintage. Said another way, we're in the top 5% of venture funds by performance. This is a snapshot, but it shows that the engine's working. Our edge is our operator network. Again, the individuals in that room, to keep coming back to it. It's the reason we're able to see the deals that we do, that we're able to validate before we invest, and that we're able to drive early revenue after we do. What's leading our outperformance? Well, quick, some exciting news to share. Some of you already saw this, but Firmus, which we invested in 2022 and owned nearly 15% of, was acquired just a few weeks ago by Bluebeam. This deal is now fully closed, and while existing investors again saw the full update a couple weeks ago, Connor will go in a little bit more detail into the kind of the full story. But it's live proof that the playbook's working. And for us, it's going to trigger a pretty meaningful return back to our investors. Again, many of the folks in this room are LPs that they're going to get really in the next probably 2 or 3 weeks once it's finalized. But now let's get into the network that makes this, makes Firmus and outcomes like this possible. It's driven by our network, the 800 industry leaders that we've developed over the last 8 years. It's our investors, the folks here, who share their pain points from the companies which they own and which they operate. They help us run diligence as real buyers. And then they become customers, driving the performance and accelerating the progress of the companies we invest in. These aren't passive investors. And that's why with all of your help and with our community team that we've built over the last few years, we've built a deeply engaged network of over 800 industrial business owners and operators. Again, these are the customers of the technologies we're investing in. That's really what creates this edge for us. To see it in action, play a quick video that highlights it.
CNBC investigation revealing how criminal gangs in foreign
here in the
countries
U.S. Thieves making off with millions of dollars.
Strategic planes and trucks, stealing everything from electronics to
From our network, we were hearing that trailer theft was a lot bigger issue than we thought it was. Something that we wouldn't have known if we weren't talking to these operators on a daily basis.
My name is Jacob Scherb. I'm the VP of Technology at Fitzmark. We are a third-party freight brokerage. 10 years ago, freight theft in this industry, fraud, was not a huge issue. But then during COVID, we really started seeing a lot more fraud and theft.
Trailers were disappearing. They were getting double booked. It's costing these companies money, and it's damaging their reputation.
Before I started Genlogs, I spent almost 2 decades in the intelligence community, many of those years at the Central Intelligence Agency. My job was to recruit foreigners to spy on behalf of the United States. I was actually serving on a board of a company that was involved in the retail analytics space. They were taking computer vision off cameras to track how people were moving through malls and shopping centers. And at one point in these meetings, he stopped and said, "Hey, could we apply the same technology to trucking?" That's what opened my eyes to a vast universe of fraud and theft that was happening. And I knew right away that better data and better intelligence would solve a lot of these problems. We've built a nationwide network of cameras along all major interstates and highways that are collecting on all truck volumes and traffic on the road. We used to track terrorists, now we track trucks.
When we brought Genlogs to our network, the response was overwhelmingly positive, pretty much unanimous.
Heartland leaned forward. Before we even asked them, they started to make introductions to customers.
We got conviction in Genlogs extremely early because of the customer feedback that we were able to get, before they even had revenue.
And we truly can attribute about a dozen of the customers that we currently have really came from Heartland.
Genlogs has been able to help us look at a carrier, pull them up, and see where they've actually been sighted on the road.
By being valuable to these startups, we're able to get into rounds that we might not otherwise be able to get into as a smaller Midwestern firm.
Unlike any other investor that we have, they've rolled up their sleeves to actually make the introductions, follow up, and try to push Genlogs into these customers because they truly believe that we can help solve the hardest of the hardest problems for their own limited partners and other corporate entities that they work with.
We've spent nearly a decade building relationships with some of the top business leaders around the Heartland. And what Genlogs has shown us is that the best technologies are developed in collaboration with industry and not in a silo.
This is what the Heartland Engine looks like in action. What you saw in this video are these 5 things. It's our network that allows us to validate the technology we're investing in based on the pain points we see. It's our network that surfaces these pain points. We then bring the technology we're looking at to our network to be able to validate it before we actually make the investment. And then again, it's this same network that's able to generate customer introductions to accelerate the progress of these companies. That's what's driving to the returns. That's what's leading to the success we've had so far in Fund 2 performance. And that's why your introductions are so critical. And so we have a bit of an ask that we have cards in front of everyone to kind of double down on that and you put the model in action a little bit. And so please print your names of anyone, including yourself, that should hear about Genlogs or, as we're going through some of the other portfolio companies today, any intros you can make. It's this network and the network of the network that gives the strength to the Heartland model. So if you do, we'll collect them and reach out to facilitate some intros. At the risk of being redundant, I'll hit it again, that our network is our competitive advantage. And so who's in it? Who is the network other than the folks in this room? It's people like this. We have 800 of them that are in our network, but here's a bit of a kind of a cross section of them. It's people like Mark Millet, the founder and CEO of Steel Dynamics, a $20 billion steel company in Indiana. Bobby Schottenstein, CEO of one of the nation's largest home builders here in Columbus. Or Scott Glaze, CEO of a 3,000 employee medical wire company in Fort Wayne. Again, these are not passive investors. They flag real pain points within their companies. They take validation calls, and when the fit's right, they become early customers. That's the fastest way to de-risk a startup and to get revenue.